Alright folks, how are we doing? It's your Bash, it's Orna again. Welcome back to the channel, and this is another Orna event roundup for the month of November for the Sisters of Morrigan event. And this is the second time we've had this event, although it is only running until the 20th of November this month. We do actually have something else coming relatively shortly, which we've not seen before. Come on to that at the end of the video, but let's jump in. This is an absolutely awesome event for pretty much all players, actually, as long as you can get up to mid-tier. And I think we're going to start off with just a quick note. There are 3 Morrigan sisters from the lore. We've got Niman, Bad, and of course we have Maka as well. And if you have raided Morrigan previously, you'll be familiar with the names coming from the gear and stuff like that. So there's a lot of kind of awesome lore connections as well. Arisen Morrigan is back as well. It's much more frequent in World Raid Boss summons from the Summoning Scrolls. So if you fancy trying your luck summoning her this month, she's much more common. Pretty much the same as last time as well. So let's jump into the raids. We have 4 event raids in total, which is pretty crazy. Starting off the tier 6 Sister Niman, you only need a kingdom level of 2. And Niman is basically the warrior version, if you like, and it's good when your game doesn't work. Niman, yes, as we said, the warrior version, so the tier 10 Morrigan weapon, Niman Havoc. As an example, let's try this again, and we'll have a look here. Thankfully we can go back in, so I'll show you what kind of gear drops in a second, but I'll just a note for kind of kingdoms out there. The 3 Morrigan sisters, and of course Arisen Morrigan herself, they're really seriously beefy. They've got a lot of HP, so you know, if you do have those kind of mid-tier players in your kingdom, I would consider getting your higher level players to increase turnover where possible in these raids, because they do drop some really beneficial gear. I just wanted to make the note that they are really relatively tanky for their level, for the tier. So they've got tier 6 Niman, and you got tier 7 Sister Bad, and the tier 8 Sister Maka. So let's have a look at their gear quickly. I've got these lined up nice and easy with Roarbot. And relatively the stats on these gear is, you know, really strong relative to each tier. So if you do get lucky and you do manage to get legendary or even ornate, really worth leveling up a few levels, certainly from kind of if you're in that tier 6, 7, 8 range. But interestingly, the shield Niman's protection has sleep immunity, so potentially a pretty nice pickup for higher level players as well. And the skills are very much the same style as Morrigan. You've got the elemental skills, you've got dragon skills, and then you've got Miasma, Great Plague. So gives players a nice introduction, I guess, to the fighting Morrigan style. So Sister Niman, tier 6, the gear is warrior focused. And then we have Sister Bad, tier 7. And again, similar story in terms of pretty tanky relative to its tier. Try and increase turnover in your raid, in your kingdom if possible. And this drops thief gear, as you might expect. But one thing to notice is the Bad's feathers. Again, the arrow offhand provides the offhand skill volley 2. However, it doesn't have the negative ward multiplier like the arcane or the blight arrows have. So honestly, if you are tier 7 to tier 9, this is definitely a really good pickup for any kind of thief or swash build for sure. Even warrior build, although you might not be able to wear it actually. But definitely for swash, you want to try and get a Bad's feathers. You know, even a normal one, if you're gonna have to be pretty lucky to pick up legendary or ornate. The gear does not drop very easily. And again, stat-wise, the gear is really, really strong relative to the rest of the options available at the tier. If you get lucky, that's you. You know, if you're lucky, you're lucky, and you can wear it. So tier 8 then, Sister Maka. Again, the offhand is quite interesting and may have some end-game potential. The Maka's scroll, again, it doesn't actually have a negative ward penalty like most other scrolls do. It does have foresight on it as well now, so potentially for endgame mage players may want to try and farm up a nice Maka's scroll offhand. And again, this is a mage gear, kind of like baby Banshee gear as well. So, and again, Sister Maka is the tankiest out of all of them, really. I wonder if I actually assessed a 200 quality Maka scroll. So you can see, if you Godforge a scroll, you've got over 300 magic, pretty good relatively. And you don't have the negative ward penalty as well. So, you know, might be a decent option to have in your arsenal if you fancy it. And then, of course, we have Arisen Morrigan. Where is she? Tier 10, Kingdom level 10 required, and she is brutal. Interestingly, compared to last year, only costs, I think it costs the same amount of Orns as normal Morrigan. If I remember correctly, last year she was double the price, so it was like 20,000 Kingdom Orns or something like that. Now it's less, 10,000 or 10,500, something like that. So all of Arisen Morrigan's drops, if you haven't fought her previously, are the exact same drops as normal Morrigan, except the Arisen versions, you know, they're relatively 10 to 15% higher stats, but they do require Greater Souls as well as Cursed Ortonite to upgrade. So it's really one of those things that makes Greater Souls a really nice end game. I say nice, I mean really really popular material to farm for endgame. Really, you want to target the weapons here. Apart from, if you're a high ward Gilga, you're not going to use any Man Havoc, but Gilga Swash, definitely want a Fey Man Havoc. It has ward on it, remember. Fey Bad Katha, Fey Maka Pillar. You know, you're going to have some of the highest offensive stat weaponry in the game available to you from this raid, as well as, to be honest, the defensive stats as well. The kind of negative aspects to Morrigan gear in terms of, for example, some Banshee gear doesn't have ward on it, for example, Raven gear as well. You know, those penalties are still remain on the Arisen versions, they just have slightly higher stats, which is kind of unfortunate, but, you know, Arisen Morrigan gear is the highest stat gear pretty much in the game for most slots. So definitely do your best to, you know, pick up some high stat gear here and there from Arisen Morrigan. So those are the raids, and let's have a look at what else we have. We have 4 new pets. I say new, they were all here last year, but these pets are super cool. They're basically Fey. They're all Fey versions, so disregard the Fey Cactus. That is not an event pet. You can get that anytime. We have 4 event pets here, and let's start with the lowest tier of them all, the Fey Gazer. Tier 6 pet, it is a cryptid rarity, so it's like got that Master Forge background, so it is rare to get. And to be honest, I don't put much onus on this being a really good pet at tier 6. Yes, it costs gold, so if you find one and you're a collector, you may want to pick it up. But you see the abilities it has. It's got the first tier versions of the Fey elemental skills. Arcane Strikes, Mind Blast, Super Bomb. Yeah, they do damage, but really if you're getting a damaging pet around mid-game, you're going to be kind of going Beastmaster at tier 7 with Dragon Knight. And if you are doing that, the Fey Dragon is an absolutely awesome pickup and much better compared to the Fey Gazer. You see you've got the Fey 3 versions, the 3rd tier versions compared to the 1st tier versions from the Fey Gazer. And you got a higher, you know, relatively higher spell chance. So any kind of Dragon Knights and Freyr Beastmasters, definitely want to pick up a Fey Dragon. Going to be a super good option for you compared to, you know, what your normal pets are going to be, like Dark Dragon. This gives you elemental options and really, really solid pet in terms of, yeah, if you're a pet build. We then have the tier 9 Fey Yeti, and this is another awesome pet. Really, really good for even kind of heretics and realm shifters at tier 10. At tier 9 is really strong as well. Basically, you get the prism wall, so you get the 4 basic elemental resistances. You get Ward of Mithril, and it's a pretty common proc. So you've got ward regen, you get ward turns there as well. Mighty Charge, you're not really getting this pet for Mighty Charge. Offensive spell. And we then have the 2 facades, Inferno and Storm, which give you temporary immunity to fire and lightning damage. It can come in clutch certain situations. And then you also finally get 6% protect chance, pure block chance as well, on top of all of that, which is really relatively high. And this is just an awesome average kind of support pet. If you don't really know what pet you need, this can definitely be an upgrade from Pale Dragon, for example. Definitely at tier 9 as well. I think when you start to utilize ward a bit more from tier 9, you definitely want to try out the Fey Yeti. Really recommended. And you know, after this time last year, there were so many people using Fey Yeti for tier 10 stuff, especially endless stuff, you know, back when endless wasn't as popular as it is today. Fey Yeti has definitely stood the test of time. I've got 20% battery, that's not good. But anyway, finally we have the tier 10 event pet for this month, which is the Fey Chimera. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have seen, this is probably one of the main pets you've seen higher level players have equipped. Normally, it's kind of like a bigger, badder version of the normal Chimera pet. We have Berserk, same as before, and it's a slightly higher buff chance percentage compared to the normal Chimera pet. So overall, you will get the Berserk buff a bit sooner. And then we've got 3 skills, which are all multi-hitting skills. So you won't have the penetration, you know, for these skills. But the B strikes and the Omni strikes can crit, and they do good damage. They really do good damage. And the end game, really good for party dungeons, for finishing off, you know, trash mobs and things. Originally, it was thought that Fey Chimera is predominantly good for Beowulf, because of course Beowulf increases the base stats of your pet high enough, so typically the multi-hitting skills would obviously do a lot more damage with Beowulf, but also they would actually not get zeroed out as easily on the other classes. But realistically, once you level up a little bit, as any tier 10 class, the Fey Chimera is going to be doing pretty significant damage, and I really recommend this over the normal Chimera pet in pretty much all situations. For Beowulf specifically, really solid pet, really solid pet. Of course, you do have many options at tier 10 for Beowulf, but definitely worth trying this one out. Can do really, you know, if you upgrade your action rate quite a bit, I think for, you know, party dungeons, if you're not going to use Fey Cactus, this is probably your next best bet, to be honest. So there you have it. Those are the 4 event pets and also the 4 event raids. All the event raids, I believe, can be spawned using summoning scrolls. And let's finally talk about the calendar for this month, because I'm on Play-Doh. Yeah, you can see the website there. But yeah, so this is the Sisters of Morrigan event, as we said, ending November 20th. But you look down here to a new event we haven't seen before, starting November the 10th until the 30th of November. Baylor invades. Forces of Baylor have invaded. So this is a 20-day event. really excited and interested to see what this is. We didn't have this before. We didn't have it last year or any years prior to that, so this is completely new. Really excited to see what we get. And then at the end of the month as well, remember we've got an experience event, and then what looks to be the following weekend, another spelunking event. So get your temples and stuff tuned for them. But definitely check the calendar out. November shaping up to be a really awesome month for pretty much everyone. Just got a fresh Arisen Morrigan tag from the Kingdom. Yeah, not super great, but good luck for the entire month. Let me know in the comments below if you get any decent gear. Got to thank everybody who has supported myself and the Orna Legends ecosystem via Twitch and Patreon. Big things coming there, so thanks to all of you guys, and thanks to you for watching this video. Hope it was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one, potentially for Baylor forces invading. I'm Shabash, thanks for watching, ciao.